We're live. We're back. This weekly podcast just turned into a bi-monthly podcast.
Yeah.
But that just means that everyone we put out is just top tier.
Last time we were back, we claimed we were back.
And I think the time before that, I also claimed that we were back.
So
the hits just keep coming, man. We're busy. We've been busy.
Yeah. I haven't really sat at home.
Which...
maybe in 6 weeks.
Now you have to, or you're going to get sent to fucking jail by the coronavirus. Do you have any thoughts on the corona, or did you not even want to talk about it?
I don't really want to talk about it, but I don't seem to feel the same way that everyone else feels, which is surprising.
And how do you feel everyone else feels?
Everyone has a stance.
Okay.
My stance is like Pascal's wager, I just keep saying. Better to assume.
Right.
You know?
It's, I read a quote from, I believe it was a teacher, not like anybody famous or anything, but they said something along the lines of, when this is over, if we over-prepared, there'll be no way of knowing, but if we under-prepared, you'll know.
Yeah.
So it's way better to over-prepare and come out of it thinking, oh, that was all bullshit and we didn't need to do any of this.
I'm confused by everyone who says that it's nothing because these people are all stupid. And then I'm confused by the people that say it's really something because they're also stupid.
It's a middle ground. The stance that you're taking.
I guess so, which is not really surprising. I do really... I get so exhausted when someone is spewing out information that you know was someone else's Facebook status.
Yeah.
When they're saying things and you're just like, I've never heard you use those combination of adjectives and conjunctions. I know that must be someone else's words, and then you just know they're just parroting things from their respective side of the what is it called? Basically just confirmation.
Sure.
You know, we always say, but that's all everyone is doing out here. So
it is kind of funny when you can tell that someone is coming up with their own thought because it's just so crazy. I read one today. I'm going to read it word for word off Facebook. Some girl I went to high school with. I'm not friends with her, and I know she doesn't listen to this, but well, I am friends with her on Facebook, but I don't want to be...
It's not real.
I'm not one of our other people that just adds anybody and says I'm not friends with them. I actually do know this person, but why is it that I am only seeing famous people getting the corona? The corona. Because they want to scare us. That's a way of getting it out to the world fast. It's something to it. It's like if you just think logically about what you said, why is it that I'm only seeing famous people get the corona? Well, it's way more likely that a famous person, of which you could name more famous people than you could probably name friends.
Right. Aside from that, they're being broadcasted all over television.
If someone you knew got it, no one would give a fuck.
So, Miss whatever your name is, that would be the reason why.
But it's something to it.
That's to it. That's the something
that
she was talking about. I know that probably isn't satisfying, but
that's crazy that people think it's like some kind of government.
My thinking with the the idea is always, does it really matter? When you harp on does it matter really? If you, number one, what are you going to do about it? What could you possibly do about it? But number two, are you going to sit there and die screaming it was a government thing? Or, what is it? Who done it? It's not a who done it.
Like if they found out, like if someone came out, blew the whistle and was like, hey, it's the government actually doing something. Is that person going to go to the streets and rebel?
Would it matter at all?
On Facebook?
To anyone, right. It's a lot of what, I forget what it's called, kind of ad hominem, but not so much. It's a bit of a misnomer, or, in a way, where when you hear people talk about it, they talk about things that are kind of left of center, like beside the point.
Sure.
They talk about, if X, Y, and Z is going on, then they want to bringing up how it came about. It doesn't matter at all.
You have to just deal with
it. Seems
now.
to be coming around. Bringing up who is responsible doesn't really matter. Even bringing up how it was dealt with by each respective country, how does that matter? The only way that it would matter is if you were looking at what not to do or whatever, but that's just... What's funny to me is when people say that there's a dubious thing going on and their sources are just public news. Yeah. They're saying the government did X, Y, and Z, and I seen on CNN that, and you're just like, wait, you can't do both. You're highly suspicious of everything that's going on behind the curtain.
But you believe CNN.
You can't be citing CNN as your reference or your source or whatever it may be. And yeah, I don't know. There's a few things that are annoying like that. I'm not big into the whole idea. I don't really care. I have thousands of rounds for my weapons, and I also have provisions.
You're stocked up for, we got weeks worth? Months?
Years? Not years, months. But one thing that is a bit annoying to me is when people talk about the flu and how many people it kills, and they compare it. That's annoying, because I'm kind of, even if I agree or disagree, again, it's kind of beside the point, where you're talking about a known thing that you can cure with over-the-counter drugs that's about 200 years old, the flu, you know what I mean?
Right.
The common flu. And you're comparing it with something you don't have a fucking clue about.
Something that even scientists don't really.
There's
right?
no...
It's still
right.
mutating and changing, and they're still trying to get a handle on it.
Yeah, and I don't really care about that either, but it just seems so moronic to compare something that's had a 100-year run with something that's had not even a month run, as far as we're concerned. This thing is just getting started. I guess you would have to agree that it's just getting started for you to believe that, but
how could you not agree?
It seems so obvious when the numbers are larger each day that means it's just getting started. So comparing the two is stupid, because you're comparing... If you were to compare the flu with the corona yesterday, it would have been a less accurate comparison than if you did today. So
there's a lot of just like people just saying bullshit and just saying whatever, like, oh, just stay away from Chinese people or people that were in China, and we'll be fine. And it's like, you realize that yesterday there was 13 new cases in Michigan, and you're still saying that there's 3, which was the number that was reported a week ago or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. It's just such a... I forget what that would be, but they're not comparable things. Even if this is just another thing of the flu, well, it's a new one, so we don't know anything, Even if what I keep asking these jackasses that I know is, if it's another form of the flu, it's still another form of the flu. So... when they say it with their stupid chest poked out like they know something, they're
right.
Like, it's identical. I fucking pay attention to epidemiologists. Motherfuckers don't even know what that means. And they say that it's another form of the flu, and you're kind of just sitting there like, another flu is also dangerous, man.
Right. Well, I don't want to talk about it too much because
No.
there you have it. There's your fucking hot take from David Gunn. His stance on the corona.
Was that hot?
No.
It was just
But
not even hot.
it was a take. It was about as hot as your coffee that was sitting out for 4 hours before you started drinking it.
Well, also, I
That you
was
heated
going
up
to
on the
think,
stove.
I was going to say, if we are back, then we'll have continuing cover. You know how they say
Continued live coverage of the corona. Hey, maybe one day when this wipes out 90% of the population and fucking the people that are left will find the Gunncast and our descent into death from the corona. Or maybe we'll make it.
Maybe, perhaps.
Maybe one of us will make it.
I think we've talked about. Yeah, we will. I think both though. We've talked about it before, but one thing this kind of can segue right out of it is one thing I cannot stand about these types of things or anything in pop culture, whatever it may be, is everyone who makes moronic, stupid claims while it's going on doesn't actually have to be held responsible or pay anything for them afterward.
No, it's depending on what it is, right? If you make a statement that isn't going to come to a conclusion until months later, there's no consequence.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I know you don't follow sports really that much, but every football year, I try to guess who's going to go to the Super Bowl before the start of the season, and I'll always guess. You know, everyone always guessed, like, Patriots and Green Bay. They pick whoever the two best teams were last year, right? And I always try to pick some crazy out there teams so that 4 months later when it's the Super Bowl, I can be like, check it out. I've never guessed it right, but when I do, I'll be fucking feeling myself. Because no one remembers 4 months later that I guessed fucking Tampa Bay and fucking the Jets, or I guess those are both AFC teams. Or nothing like that, but...
Yeah.
No one remembers that, but
right.
If I'm right, I'll remember.
But no one is ever tied to the whipping post, you know what I mean? Like, just so everyone remembers, you were a fucking jackass when this was going on.
No one's going to remember because they got their own shit going on.
Yeah.
Too much other shit to worry about.
Usually, most of the people don't remember because they're too busy spouting off their own claims and being their own jackass. So, with our lukewarm take, we really kind of just remain neutral. But I feel like we remain that way with everything, really.
You think?
Taking sides? I don't know. I took a side early on with these shows and shit and these fucking... that we have planned for later in the year. One in Asia. And I was talking to this dude about, well, we said we were going to get off the topic.
Slowly getting off the topic.
So.
Listen.
Do you think we take too many harsh stances?
Listen, let me just say this now. If you're listening to this fucking podcast and you're a King fan and fucking say a show doesn't get canceled from now until forever and you're sick, don't fucking come, dude. Don't fucking show up. Stay the fuck home. Please. Fuck you.
Well, remember, if you remember, you used to don the mask there because of the hygienic nature of your average
day.
King.
I used to get sick on almost every tour.
Right.
I started taking emergency vitamins, vitamin C's, immune system.
And it worked.
And that seems to work, and the mask does seem to work. But
yeah. You have to make a statement about how you're not talking about Corona.
No,
the mask is not what we're doing. We're talking about just touring with the disgusting.
Disgusting.
Exactly.
And I have to take your money, and I'm sure you're nice people, but
who knows where that fucking shit's been?
Right.
And it ain't even really on you.
Especially
100 people had it before you.
Especially when you see, like, I'm Mike Hazel, when you see broads when you
pulling it out of their ass and shit.
Their bras and shit, like, I'm like, dude, just set it on the table. Put your money on the table, dog.
Right.
So, yeah, that's like, I was talking with a friend about it, like, if we go on a tour during, say this Corona shit's still going on and we do a tour or whatever, like, You guys could just fucking chill in the van or the green room or whatever. I have to be out there fucking amongst these fucking sick walking fucking corona cases, dude.
Yeah.
But I've got a good immune system.
We're ready to do whatever it takes.
To bring rock to the masses.
To rock the fuck out. You know? We're rockers, man.
It is funny how all these bands are like, I'm so sorry that we gotta cancel. It's like, I know some
Why are we sorry
thrilled.
at all?
I know some people that are thrilled to cancel some shows.
Yeah.
I'm not getting sick for the sake of you fucking getting to rock out to fucking Hellhounds live for the first time.
Or second.
Or second.
Or was that not Hellhounds as you were just discussing
Yeah,
before
that song, it was actually called, here's a little insider fact, that song was actually called Rob Johnson. And then right before we were going to put it out, I was like, listen man, Rob Johnson, if you call it that, people are going to think you're talking about the famous Buffalo Bills quarterback from the 80s, not Robert Johnson, the famous blues singer. You got to change it to fucking Hellhounds. So.
That never happened, what you just said. And also that really wasn't what I was getting at. I was getting at the awesome name that everyone seems to be conspiring over. Coming up with their own little story, which is usually the case. For
almost everything I read online about the band is not true. Good and bad.
I know.
Which is just awesome. You can't even be upset about it because it's just awesome how people will just take a narrative and spin it however they want to.
What is some of the funnier shit that you've heard for the... I'm flipping this and asking you questions now.
People say that they've been at shows. Someone said that they were at, I won't say which show, but someone said they were at a show on this last tour that had about 60 people at it. When I could probably prove it. We could probably go, you probably have an email saying how many people were at the show. I know for a fact that there was over 100 people at this show. And they said that it seemed to be most of the people at the show were friends and family of King 810. And I had to think back, because sometimes we'll have a friend show up or something. Not 60 of them, unless it's a local show.
Where was this at?
It was in Atlanta. We didn't have any friends there. We went to Magic City.
Those
are our only friends.
Right, the strippers, right? But what oh yeah, they are actually our friends. Dude, we'll keep it off the cast, NASCAR. Let me just put it out there that they call me NASCAR in Magic City in Atlanta. So if you ever seen NASCAR down there, you know, setting the pace.
You don't want to race NASCAR.
You don't want to race, though, because once I get in my zone, no one can drag me up out of there. I love Magic City, but the point
People were
was
saying that there's a new album coming out called La Petite Mort Part 2. That's not true.
That is completely not true. But a funny, I was observing a funny little piece of what you said before. How does someone seem like they are friends and family of the band?
I don't know. Especially because you guys don't go out and talk to anybody ever.
Seems like they were friends and family.
I guess it could be confusing because there is King Fam, you know, that have no relation to us.
Maybe that's what she meant.
But maybe it was just King Family.
Okay.
Shout out to the listeners. Fucking shout out to the King 810 family page on Facebook, baby.
The real.
Much love.
It's a real phenomena, and the thing about the family, the King family, is every band tries to forge that type of thing, manufacture it like synthetically.
Themselves.
Yeah, they try to make it, create it themselves, and they wish they had something like that.
Even if it was a fraction of the people that are
right.
The King family.
Yeah, but we have it for real, and that's the shit. And we're pieces of shit losers, and that is really what's up, though. Because I'm so tired of seeing fucking loser bands running around here talking about how they are a cult and their following is a cult and they're this clique shit, and you almost just want to be like, yo, you just say you're a cult because no one follows you. And there's also nothing. Yeah, there's nothing cultish about you. You're a cult, okay, with no followers. Like, what? If you have to say what you are, you probably aren't that.
Right. Self-proclaiming.
Self-proclaiming these things.
Like I don't. To my knowledge, you've never come out and said like King ate when I was a gang, but then all these journalists and music sites, is King closer to a gang than a band? It's like, well, if you want it to be,
You're right. Are you
gonna
write that anyway?
shirts saying King ate when I was a gang.
Right. Yeah.
If
you ask certain people, then yeah. Some people cannot. And then it's tricky because, yeah, I guess it's tricky and too tricky to talk about, I guess.
But let's go back to Rob Johnson.
Yeah.
You, the modern day Rob Johnson.
If Rob pioneered the Delta Blues, what did I pioneer? I think we both know, and we don't need to even touch on it.
You're right. But we got, a couple days ago, the Hellhounds video dropped. If you haven't watched that, or for some reason, I always wonder what the intersection is between people's knowledge. Like, is there someone that follows this podcast but has no idea that this new video's out? Or, like, it always, follows the band but doesn't know about the podcast, or, follows the podcast, doesn't know about the band.
Right.
What do people do or don't know?
I think predominantly that it's people that follow, but I think following is not a catch-all term, So many things happen in people's lives, and so many things on the internet as well.
Well, I don't mean follow just in the sense of Twitter, Instagram, actually keeping up to date on the going on.
Yeah, that's what I think that keeping up to date, it can't really be consistent across the board. Some people sit and click refresh. When I was a kid, when bands that I liked, like if Manson was doing something, if 9 Inch Nails was doing something, Nirvana was like the best. Whatever was happening, I wasn't clicking refresh because there wasn't such thing, but I was waiting,
Yeah.
waiting to see it. And some people are like that with music, with this group, but some people just aren't.
They just like the shit and it comes into their view, or
I think common denominator was what they would call it, the everyman, I guess, or to be 2020, the everyman / everywoman, whatever the fuck you people talk about. I think the majority of them are kind of middle of the road as far as they're not that hardcore, but they're not unaware. They're not staying up till 2 a.m. because of a premiere.
Right. Or they'll show up to a show if we're playing with another band they like.
Right. I feel like that is I think there is a disproportionate, like with King, I do believe that cult thing that we just talked about, and I do believe that they're kind of rabid.
Yeah.
But with when you have a large audience, I think more 6 out of 10 of them are just like the music and have some on their gym playlist, but some people dive really deep, which makes it worth it, I guess.
Or how many people like the songs and don't even know the message or the story behind them, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes when I seen PB down there singing "Best Friend." You know what I mean?
Do you think he knows?
No,
I don't even think I know the meaning behind Young Thug's "Best Friend" song.
I know he doesn't.
Is it about just a homie he has? It's about a big old booty bitch message from Texas. What's next is...
Yeah.
I know that much.
It's weird. It's really strange. So the point is different degrees of engagement. So I think there were a bunch of people waiting for Hellhounds, and
the views seem to be popping. It's getting some views.
I think people watch it. What have people said to you about it? Anything cool? Or just bullshit?
I've had a couple people, no one, trying to think, no one that I really know personally. Well, my mom, she always hits me up whenever some new King shit's out. She said to me, "Oh shit, that new Hellhounds is out. I gotta watch that." It's like I could have showed it to you 2 days ago if you wanted to see it. But, she liked it, and she'll be honest. She'll tell me if she doesn't like some stuff.
If it doesn't jive with her.
Yeah.
Was this not jiving?
No, she liked this one.
Okay.
Yeah, she thought the snow. She was like, the snow was cool. I'm like, well, I didn't. It's not like when we were filming it, I was like, I need snow.
Well, we kind of. No, yeah, it's real.
It was real snow,
but
real fire.
We were waiting on the
real fake blood.
Snow, you know.
But a lot of people have been hitting me up just saying that it was cool.
Were there any of them critiquing your
my cinematography?
Your eye? Yeah.
No, I can't imagine someone would hit me up and be like, "Hey, this one wasn't really hitting."
Okay.
You know, I'm sure people think that, but I can't imagine someone hitting me up to say it. They would be awesome if they did. I would be like, "Hey, whatever."
I would welcome those type of friends, but instead, I just don't have any.
As evidenced by the 6 people that are in the video, because we invited maybe double that to come help us and be in the video, and they were too busy.
Doing what? Who knows?
They didn't want to go out in the cold.
I haven't heard anyone say anything about, you guys have a music video where 6 or 7 of your fans go to a show and you kill them. I haven't got anyone who understood that we're killing fans.
I was expecting more people like...
Not to point to it, but...
one of those bullshit metal news sites, I don't even know the names of them, that just talk shit about everything, which, like, how can you even want to write for a publication like that? It's just so negative all the time, but I'm surprised that one of them didn't post or say something to the tune of...
Oh, great.
Yeah, great. As if you needed another reason to not want to go to a King show, now you might get your throat slit, you know.
Right. How cool.
But, we really... This is, I feel like this about every video we do, but I always feel like I could be the proudest of this video, but it's hard to beat Heartbeats, for me personally. That was such a huge undertaking for everyone involved that it's hard to beat.
What's so cool is like we think it's so awesome. Just another disclaimer: we think everything we do is awesome. So whenever anyone tries to be cool to us and tries to say like, "I don't mean to be a fanboy," you actually suck, because we are the biggest stans of our group. So we think we're the best band in the world, and we know we are. So you can't be a bigger fan than us. So...
Do you remember the first tour that I went on with you guys, and I was like, I'm about to jump up there and do guest vocals, and you were like, which words do you know? And I said, all of them. I'm a stan.
Yeah.
But it's like, why would I go on tour with a band that fucking I didn't know every word to, and I didn't fucking, whatever.
You just can't outstand us, because we're real stans.
There's a couple out there that could probably outstand me.
You think? These people are making up album names and shit.
Right, I don't do that shit. They're outstanding me to that.
Maybe delusional.
But,
what I was gonna say was, I think I might have said this before, but reverse verification. In the stock market, you reverse verify, same thing in life. I think I put it in the book as well. If someone really hates an idea, I know certain people, I know that that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
If certain people like it, are into it, and understand it, I know that it's a bad one. So, Heartbeats being something we really like, and it's just so cool on so many different levels. Aside from 16mm, aside from our acting parts, on IMDb.
The full body makeup in the middle of October, it was below freezing.
We
on there outside of my underwear.
We wanted a 10-12 minute video. We actually hacked it the fuck out of it to what?
8 or 7?
Yeah, something like half of what we wanted, and it still was. Again, it's the everyman. What people want is not that type of substance. You know, when something plays and 2.5 minutes goes by and there's no music yet.
It's crazy to me, because if a band I like put out a 30-minute music video where 27 minutes of it was a short film, I would be thrilled, because I could watch it and listen to the songs separately.
Yeah.
I guess there are some people that use YouTube for all their music, but...
Yeah, same. I really like those type of projects. I really like deeper stuff. Like, one of my favorite things to watch is Runaway, Kanye West's Runaway.
Yeah.
And I just... that makes me... I don't know how to explain it, but this one was not that. Hellhounds was a good rock song for people that like rock. And if you say something like cheesy riffs, then yes, exactly. This is called rock, bitch. Have you ever heard Pantera Walk? Where you think that's not cheesy? That's one note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Smoke on the Water, you fucking jackass? It's 2 notes. Any of this shit, you know? That people were calling that cheesy as well. Besides, we don't care if it's cheesy. It just rocks.
Yeah.
You cocksucker. The goal is to rock, not to worry about what you think about a riff. You think
Shredding.
anyone ever thinks about a riff? We don't care about riffs. Well, some songs we have, here's a news alert. We don't even put guitars in them. We don't give a fuck. So.
But yeah, I'm proud of the. Feel very proud of the Hellhounds video. The thing that I liked the most about it was it's almost a horror movie, in a way. It's very horror inspired, especially something like From Dusk Till Dawn. I personally took a lot of influence from that.
Yeah, that was the idea we were kind of running with. Wanted some cool type of like rock show, you know, just like the bar scene or whatever. And then it turns into some murder scene, you know.
It was also one of the most grueling shoots we've had to do. And like I said, for the Heartbeats video, I was naked outside in below freezing weather. But this one sucked way worse.
This one was worse. And you weren't even in the fucking gear.
No, I had multiple layers on, and I stayed pretty warm for most of it. But yeah, I think once the behind the scenes videos, I think we'll put out a behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because we filmed a lot of behind the scenes footage. I think people will realize how much work went into this, and some people might think it's cool, and some people probably don't care. But this shit, like, you know, there's clips in the video of you guys playing on a stage that's burning down. We lit the stage on fire and started rocking. It wasn't like...
And we had to rock until that bitch was over with.
Right. And
Well, you gotta dial it back. We built the stage.
We went to a junkyard.
With nothing.
And built the stage. We had to set up assembly lines. That was the theme of the whole video. Carrying pallets and tires and pieces of plastic that we found in the junkyard heaps. Carrying them 100 yards, but not on flat ground, through trash.
Build us a stage to rock on.
We tried to build our homemade dolly system, which, if you're not familiar with filmmaking, a dolly is basically when you put the camera on a cart that's on a train track, essentially, so it makes your shots really smooth.
We tried to build one through this junkyard because our industrial dolly was what this would have been called, and that's the shots that we were going for, to have that. What I was drawing inspiration from was Spike Lee's dolly shots, mainly Spike Lee's dolly.
Like Do the Right Thing or something?
Do the Right Thing. Yeah. Mo Better Blues, he uses in Mo Better Blues with Denzel. He uses it in...
He's the GOAT, dude.
I believe 21...
Got a new movie coming out this year.
What is the one with Ed Norton where he's a drug dealer about to go to prison? 11th Hour. Is that what that saying is? The 11th hour, that means last minute kind of thing?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Dolly's in there. There's... and anyone who does video is like, no shit, everything's a dolly. I mean dolly with the camera and the principal person on the dolly. Yeah, movement in the background and dolly and the talent, if you will, being on the dolly as well. We tried that, but it wouldn't work. It wasn't working for us very well.
So we did that. We built the stage. The special effects. Shout out to the special effects team, which is just us.
Yes.
Again, but we learned how to make fake blood. We learned
how to shoot
it out of a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, which doesn't sound that big of a deal, and it's really not. But when you have to go out in the middle of nowhere and you have a generator and you have 2 hours to shoot everything before all your batteries die because you can't possibly charge all of your devices on a Jenny.
Also, it's February and the sun goes down at 4 p.m.
Right. It makes things a lot harder.
It's 0 degrees out. It's snowing. You have to keep the blood heated so it doesn't freeze.
Yeah. It was a blast. And then the fire ended up getting out of control, and we couldn't stop it.
So we just rocked it.
We just rocked while
I thought the coolest thing, I don't think really any shots of it ended up in the video. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like just didn't translate because it was so hectic, and it was like a war scene in a movie. We were just looking around, there's just shit going on, like the drums are being played and there's lighter fluid on the cymbals and gas on the cymbals, so every time the cymbals got hit, fire was flying off the cymbals.
Yeah.
Because the lighter fluid was flying off, catching flame midair.
Right, like the clothes and our shoes and the masks were melting to us. And
we burned all those cabs that were burning, actually burned. The musical...
I never say shit like that because then people get pissed off. Like stupid ass haters. Yeah,
like the guy that said, I saw that comment, must be nice, or whatever.
Yeah, when a bitch says must be nice, I want to break their fucking leg. You know what I mean? Because it's just like a hater. That's what haters say.
It's like we've talked about this before, but when people say, oh, you're so lucky, when it applies to something that's not winning the lottery.
It must be nice is the same thing. It's just, it is nice.
You're so lucky that you can burn whatever you want. It's like, no.
You know why? It really is, but guess what? I was poorer than you, so I don't care. I'll burn everything. I'll burn my house down just to laugh at it. Because I can. No one has been this low, so...
Now that I think about it, it was almost cathartic in a way. That was the last thing we shot, obviously. Mm-hmm. We burned everything.
We burned everything.
It was freezing cold all weekend. We shot it over the course of like 3 days for, just behind the scenes if anyone really wants to know the timeline.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to carry anything back, right? Yeah. So we're like, we're going to burn everything out here.
Except for, the camera.
Our camera.
Shit like that. But it was...
So everything went. We burnt everything. And half of it was our music gear, too.
A whole drum set.
Yeah, so it's like...
the stage that we built.
A nice angle cab, a nice Marshall 1960.
Pieces of King history.
Yeah, I refinished by hand the angle cabinet. People
probably would have paid thousands of dollars for those, if you think about it.
Yeah,
but it's way cooler to burn them.
Exactly. That's basically what the must be nice fucking loser. The point is it's not nice. This is what we're doing. It is way nicer to see this going up in a blaze. So many people are going to see this go up in a blaze. Millions of people will see this going up in a blaze. And that is way nice. It's the way I feel about it anyway. Plus it's my shit. I'll do whatever. It's a bunch of junk. I didn't want to take it back to my house and store it like a hoarder. So everything must go.
Enough shit here.
Right.
But a guitar. I'm looking at a guitar and probably I see two Pelican cases.
Yeah.
About 100 cables, 2 trash bags full of who knows what.
We should have put that in the fire as well.
But that was pretty cool. We did that, and then the next day we left for a tour. I think actually we filmed the very last thing we filmed was one of the death scenes, and we filmed that the day that we left for tour.
Yeah, and then we did a couple weeks of that, and then I went to the studio the day after we got home, which I think we got home,
end of February?
5 p.m. or something, maybe, p.m. and taking a nap and woke up and went to the studio, and I just got out yesterday.
What is that guy saying about the coronavirus? Random. What is he saying?
Random isn't bothered because he's a hermit.
He lives in the middle of nowhere.
He lives in the middle of nowhere with his wife, and no one comes into contact with him.
Is he not having any bands? Is his studio closed?
He had a few weeks off right now, and
I think it's his birthday.
Oh fuck! It's his birthday. Yeah, 3/16.
Happy birthday, Random, dude!
Yeah,
We're gonna text him live on the cast.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening.
Random. It's Schroeder's birthday. So
that guy's made anyone listening to this, he's made all your favorite records. No cap.
He is the best. There's no one better than this dude. This dude is the best. Although you're gonna be disappointed if you try to go to Schroeder trying to sound like King, because sorry, I got the sauce and the juice.
But continue to do it because you're getting Random paid.
Right. But he's the best. He has the best head on his shoulders. So.
Also helped us on the Heartbeats video.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
He's in.
Someone was telling me, I think, who was I talking to? Maybe someone that I don't want to say it, be wrong, but someone that we know that also knows Random, some other band that he's recorded, was like, yeah, we were in the studio. And he just kept showing us fucking outtakes from the 8mm filming, and he loves that shit, dude. He's just showing everyone.
Yeah.
And they're like, why are you showing us this?
That's funny.
We're paying you money to record our album.
You're showing us outtakes.
You're trying to get famous. Apparently his bathroom is still stained red from me taking a shower to get all the devil makeup off.
Really? Yeah. He's the man. He's a co-conspirator, and we just did a full record, and I did 3 Yavid records, and it all is so dope.
What's going on with the fabled Midwest Monsters 3? Has there been any updates on that? Or nothing you can share to the public as of yet?
It's not fabled, but it don't want to get too into it, you know?
Right.
But we are so good that everything we do starts a series, I guess.
So what you're saying is there's 3 albums. Memoirs, La Petite, Suicide King. I had to think about that. You're saying there's going to be a La Petite More Part 2.
No, I already said there wouldn't be. But yeah. Maybe we can have Beal and Twerk make the La Petite Part 2, since that's what everyone always tries to.
It would be fucking awesome, dude. Like, it'll never happen, and it's not even worth saying, but I'm gonna say it anyways. But how fucking awesome would it be to have, like, a social experiment or whatever you want to call it, have Beal and Twerk write just one song together, and, you know, put it out instrumental, because that's, you know, everyone seems to be so fucking in tune and fucking know their shit that they can just smell it out, smell the sauce, or whatever you want to call it. Just to have them put out a song to see, because everyone always says, oh, when Beal and Twerk left the band. But I think this story's been told a million times.
Yeah, it's
They would put
pretty
it out.
funny.
They would put out a blues fucking pop song, or something. They wouldn't even put out a metal song.
I think everyone would just move the goalpost when that happened.
So,
Twerk
loves Drake, and he gets so mad when I say that.
That's why you gotta say it
That's
again.
why I gotta say it again. He messaged me the other day. Did I tell you? This was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I hadn't talked to him. I messaged him months ago, like after he quit, which was like, hey, hope you've been alright, whatever. And he messaged me back months later and was like, yeah, same, but I saw you said some shit about me that I love Drake. And he's like, you're the biggest Drake fan I know, motherfucker. I'm like,
but it's like,
you still love Drake.
We're not talking about me.
I unashamedly love Drake.
Right.
But everyone thinks, you got this image you got to uphold as the fucking guy.
Everyone thinks you're the genius behind the music.
You love Drake.
It's hard when you evolve each record. They're going to come up with X, Y, and Z.
Ram just texted me back, says he's got to come through to be on an episode. So maybe
that would be cool. That would be one of the best ones that we had, and no one would like it.
For obvious reasons, like we talked about
because
before.
we like it.
Right.
But that would be cool. I'd thought about that before talking to him, because me and him, one time I went to the studio and we were doing, not one time, multiple times. I have sat with him for 9 hours having a conversation and not recorded one thing.
I've been there when it's happened.
Yeah. And it's just, I never really worry. He probably doesn't either because he's getting paid. But
that's his finesse. He's like, hey, I'm going to have a conversation with this guy.
I'm just going to get him talking. I don't feel like working. But I feel like that's essential to get to the next. Anything that happens, even big hang-ups, are imperative to get to where you're going, wherever it is you might be going. And some days it's talking.
Well, yeah, I think that's maybe the sign of a good producer. I guess I don't have that much experience firsthand, but just from people that I've talked to that have recorded with multiple people, like having that comfortability and that relationship, really, because they are, if they're good, like another member of the band.
Yeah, in our case, it's really heavy. I used to work with Twerk on pretty much mostly everything. I think we've talked about that before. But when Twerk left, it's like working with random. Just because I don't like working with more than one person. And never have, everyone knows that. And
too many cooks.
Yeah.
Not to be corny, but
it's also, you don't deserve to.
Okay.
If I work on this from sun up to sundown, and you're just chilling, hanging out, and doing whatever it is,
riding the coattails, if you will.
12 years later, you're not there's not a seat for you. And it's not because I think you suck, although I do. It's because you're not talented enough. And it would be like, a professional player just playing with a kid. It's just, if it's fun for the child. It's not to be taken seriously, and I'm not going to put that out to the rest of the world. So, you have to be good. And if you're not, then you can fuck off.
How wild was last night?